Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Welcome to Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community, part of Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing amazing things for over 60 years. And we were recording at their beautiful studio here in Scripps Ranch. You can tell by the voice that I am not Drew Schlosberg. I am Charles Parisi, the CEO and founder of Cloudcast Media, and I am joined here today by the one and only, the longtime co-host of Drew Show, Kristen Fogel.
Hello.
Hi, Kristen.
How's it going?
And by the way, when you're not doing this, you're at San Diego Writers Inc., aren't you?
I am, yeah. It's my 12th year. Who's counting?
Have you ever worked with entrepreneurs on a writing assignment?
I'm sure I have.
But in some sense, all writers are entrepreneurs.
We're all entrepreneurs deep inside. We're just architecting our lives day in and day. I don't know.
You're ideating. You're visualizing.
We're doing all of those those action verb.
You're creating
words.
Stories.
Yep.
Right, because that's what entrepreneurs do. We dream. We ideate, and so we're here today with a wonderful young ideator who won a scholarship, a cause scholarship for social impact.
Which is so cool. I want to hear more about because I wasn't there for that episode. So
likewise, I wasn't here as well, for social impact. So they honored her. So welcome to the show, Sandy Basaka, the CEO and founder of UniExchange.
Thank you,
UniExchange. You got the name right, but not the name of the company. It's fine.
Almost there.
Yeah, almost there.
A for effort.
Tell us about this. We want to hear about you. Oh, by the way, also joining us is Alfredo Melita, joining in to listen to the story of UniExchange, production engineer with Cloudcast Media, but also an actor. And so we're going to let him jump in and help us explore
UniExchange, if you will. Yeah,
a little ideation with Sandy. So Sandy, tell us about the Cause Scholarship first, and then we want to get into this company you've started.
So Cause San Diego is an organization that focuses on philanthropy here at San Diego. And they had a scholarship that I won around last year-ish, where it just focuses on social impact, philanthropy, and students in college taking the lead of creating change within our community. So I applied to that scholarship because I'm really into philanthropy. And lo and behold, I ended up winning it. And now I'm a social entrepreneur. Who would have guessed?
Amazing.
I love it. So you're into philanthropy. So that's a beautiful thing. So tell us about the very first time.
He's going to make you cry. Whenever it's the very first time or it's childhood.
Whether you were 8 years old or now.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
The first time giving back to someone changed your life.
He's trying really hard.
So this actually is a really deep story, so I'm glad you asked.
He's going to cry.
So I'm a refugee and immigrant from Iraq. So when we came here to America, we were blessed to be in America. And my parents have always told us to count our blessings because it's amazing to be here. And growing up, I grew up in a low-income household, so I was in an area that wasn't super safe. There was a lot of homeless people around, and my parents would always tell me, Sandy, you have more. Give other people more. So I remember one time there was a homeless man right near our apartment complex, and I went home. I grabbed a paper bag, and my parents tell me, I'm super thankful for my parents, and they taught me really well. So I put as much food as I can in there, some water, and I ended up giving it to the homeless person. I was around 8 years old, and I ended up kind of talking with them and understanding their story. And that moment kind of changed my perspective on anything. Like there's so much we as individuals can do within our community, and that small act of kindness really led to a great conversation and understanding who the other person was. So I'm trying to hopefully impact more people as much as I can with what I have, and just whether it be through just anything that I can give them, I try to do my best to create a positive impact. And since that day, from when I was 8 years old, I've kept the values that my parents really taught me. I'm Catholic, so I keep the values that, of course, our Lord Jesus Christ tells us. And I try to strive with that with everything I do.
Well, that's a beautiful story. So first of all, I want to say a couple of things. I have so many friends that came to this country from Iraq. all beautiful people. I want to give a little shout out to Johnny Walker, codename Johnny Walker. You can research him at some point. Beautiful people. And I can tell you already that this country's better off for having you here. So thank you for being here. You know, you say you're blessed to be here. We're blessed to have you here. And I know that to be true.
I agree.
Am I right, Kristen?
Yeah.
Alfredo?
The world needs more empathy.
Yeah, exactly right.
This is empathy.
So thank you for bringing your heart here. Do you remember any part of the conversation at 8 years old with that homeless individual? Was it man or woman?
It was a man. I remember he was trying to find something and he kept on thanking me and saying, God bless you, God bless you. And I was just talking like, okay, how's your day? How are you? And he was like, it's great, thanks to you. And it wasn't as deep in a way like he tells me his life story. It was more so like he's thankful for me and for the present. And he believes things will get better because there's people out there like me, which is the best compliment I've ever received. So hearing that at 8 years old kind of solidified what I wanted to do in the future, and is more so just innovate, create to help other people. I think I've always wanted to change the world. When I was younger, people would laugh at me, but that's still a dream I still hold super dear to my heart. I do want to change the world in whatever way that may be. And I believe innovation is the best way to go through social entrepreneurship and other.
I know. I love that. Hey, the one thing I'm going to mention to you too, Sandy, and this is maybe a comment to your parents who I've never met, obviously. You were not in a low-income household. You were in a very rich household.
I was.
Okay? So now let's kind of get into what in the world have you done here with the UniExchange? Tell us about UniExchange.
Perfect. So UniExchange was born out of my own necessity. The only way I can attend college is through scholarships and by working. So I would sell my items online. But after many unsafe situations that many women have probably been a part of, I realized that I wanted to find a safer alternative just because I didn't want to go through that again over and over. And I was searching and I didn't find a safer alternative. And I knew other students were facing some sort of situation that was similar to me, whether it be financially trying to provide for their college education or selling stuff online just to make extra cash. I didn't find anything online. So I'm like, you know what? Time to create something, time to build something. We launched on January 21st, and a little bit about UniExchange. Think of it like a marketplace app, but only for college students. Only verified college students can access it. And each campus or each university has their own hub. So you can go on the app, and then all the items that are on there are listed by verified students on your campus that you can meet with on campus to exchange. We launched on January 21st, and thankfully, we are about to hit 450 users at SDSU alone. And this is with marketing just at SDSU, and we're expanding to USC and UCSD soon, as well as USD, trying to get the San Diego universities on there. But it was born through really me facing my own struggles, and entrepreneurship, scratch your own itch. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
And it's been great seeing our users use the app and give feedback and tell us. There's already been exchanges happening. I meet with a couple of them like from time to time just to kind of get their user journey, like what's happening. Are you benefiting from this? And it's great to see the responses from it, especially from something that when you first start out with entrepreneurship, there's no really building blocks or a plan or a guide. You just have to figure everything out yourself. And it's good to see something born out of this. And it was just a vision.
Yeah.
It was just a dream. It was just something that I saw would be possible, would be done, would be beneficial to me and to other people. And then just seeing that come to life and others benefit from it really warms my heart.
Yeah. I've walked this path. Like I said, I've been an entrepreneur since I'm 25 years old. Variety of companies and industries. And it's those startup days, the early days are by far and away the best. So let me ask you a question, because there's like 3 phases I like to talk about. Organized, chaos, and then organized chaos, which is where I believe entrepreneurs need to live. Where are you?
I'm always in the organized chaos from the beginning until now. And I'm sure in the future, it's always been organized chaos. And I also have a team. My team has been great. I wouldn't have been able to do this without my team. There's a lot that happens at once. I'm sure you guys know entrepreneurship, and it's good. It's always something new every day. Always something new. Something's always going to plan to change. You're going to hit another curveball. You're going to have to pivot. You're going to face something that makes you just change everything completely. But having that organized chaos, it's like having a messy room, but you know where everything is in that messy room. That's kind of how I imagine it.
Yeah, I think it's great. Chris and I, this is probably true of what you do with writing because, see, when things are really organized, you can't possibly be your most creative self. Mm-hmm. And if things are completely chaotic, then you actually can't be producing what your customers need. Mm-hmm. And you got to find that sweet spot. What is that like similar in the world of writing?
It's like that in writing. I mean, I think like a structure can set you free. So that's kind of like trying to manage all that chaos a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I feel similarly with, taking over a nonprofit as like a relatively young executive director at the time. Yeah, it's just a curveball every day, like you say, and just kind of learning as you go. I have questions about the platform itself. I think it's a brilliant idea. Is there like a fee for service? Like how does that work? How are you verifying? Like tell me more about it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. So for the fee for service, we don't charge students. We just from my experiences as well, other marketplace platforms charge a lot in percentage and we're trying to help them make money to pay for college. So each localized hub of like each university has its own hub. Since they're meeting on campus and they're exchanging, there's no fees. You just join the app and then you start exchanging and making money. Mm. And then as for, sorry, what was the other question?
Like verification, all that sort of stuff.
Yes. So in our app, we built it to where the only way you can sign up is with your EDU or EDU email.
Okay.
Each student at any university gets an EDU email. Mm-hmm. Once they sign up onto the app with that EDU email, we send a link out to their school email. So it can't be a fake email because they'll never receive the link.
Yeah.
And then they'll click the link, they'll enter a verification code, and that's how we verify students.
Got it.
No, cool. I love that. So it's no charge to the students to participate. Mm-hmm. Is UniExchange a for-profit or nonprofit?
It's going to be a for-profit. The way we're going to be making money is...
Oh, you knew that question was coming.
Yes, of course. Okay. Every business needs to make money. So the way we'll be making money is kind of long-term. We're going to try to keep it free for students within each campus. But once it gets to a bigger scale to where we have multiple footholds at many other universities, we're going to open it up to somebody at SDSU can trade with someone in NYU or another university. And through our payment and shipping integrations, that's when we'll charge the fee just because it costs a little to kind of integrate those platforms and making sure everything runs smoothly.
Well, I think one of the other revenue avenues I think you could easily pursue, and I don't know that it would hurt the app at all, it'd probably be welcome in terms of the community you're building. But there's no question, like I think, Trujillo's Taco Shop should have a location on your app. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you're planning on the local businesses having their own little marketplace. Is that part of what you're thinking?
So what we're trying to do is trying to keep it student specific. So we have a bunch of students on there already who own their own businesses, their student-run businesses. Mm-hmm. One of our missions in UniExchange is to support college students in all aspects. So we try to promote their businesses. We have them on there. And then we also try to kind of, another revenue avenue we're looking towards is kind of like ads because we have a lot of local businesses around SDSU, for example, that want to reach these students, but they're just like a couple blocks away from the campus. So being able to promote these small and local businesses to these students with either student discounts or whatnot, but we're going to be focusing on student businesses as well.
I love
just because we're trying to support students in all aspects as we can.
Fantastic. Alfredo, you're a tech-friendly human and you use apps. What are any thoughts?
I think it's like a great business model when you create something that you yourself need and like you're like the audience and like the market because you already know what you want out of the app. So it's like, it makes it easier for you to know what other people are going to want when you relate to them. That's like your age group. So I think it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I wish I could download it.
No question. Well, listen, I think the classic entrepreneurship is that you see a need in the marketplace. And in your case, it came from personal experience. So you have found yourself, and I've thought about this, and I know there's stories. So you have found yourself in unsafe places or unsafe people when you're trying to exchange.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Wow. Was it pretty scary?
I mean, not just me, but I'm sure any other women and just can understand when someone's like, oh, you can come pick this up at 8 p.m. at this parking lot because we all have work. And sometimes maybe it's not out of like intention. They're trying to be put me in a scary situation. But there's been multiple times where I've met with someone. It's just not a safe experience just from the conversation we had or whatever happened afterwards. And I didn't want people to go through what I went.
Mhm.
So, and it's also like a convenience issue. Imagine like a freshman kid who who dorms out of college, who doesn't have a car, who's trying to buy affordable items, but they can't drive to the location to pick it up, or everything online costs a bunch because of shipping and whatnot. But it did mostly come from just my personal safety experiences, and I didn't want other people to go through that. So that's why I built it.
Well,
I mean, sorry, I'm going to interrupt and I'm going to pull a Drew because Drew's always like, well, do this totally different thing. So I'm going to be Drew right now. But I think like even maybe in the future, like for professors and like faculty and stuff like that, because you still go through that as like an older adult. You're like, I don't want to give my address out. Like I don't, like it's the same sketch sort of situation, like no matter how old you are. But I could see that service being good for those who have an EDU that are, faculty or staff or
that's a good idea.
Administration.
Let's pick up on that because we're going to take a little quick break here.
Yeah.
Because you're listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We're here with Sandy Basaka, the CEO and founder of UniExchange, and also the winner of the Cause Scholarship at San Diego State through Cause San Diego. And we're just going to hear a little message from our amazing sponsor, Mission Fed Credit Union.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us. And we are back. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. My name is Charles Breesy, filling in for Drew. I am lucky enough to be the CEO of Cloudcast Media, joined by the one and only Kristen Fogel. Crispy Bacon Morning, right, Kristen?
Crispy Bacon. Still don't know what it means. Still don't know what the podcast is. We're still obsessed with the idea.
Do you like Crispy Bacon, by the way?
Of course.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Crispy Bacon?
Who doesn't?
And who doesn't really love UniExchange?
That's true.
What I'm saying.
That's true.
Right, Alfredo? Oh,
I love it.
I think UniExchange is pretty crispy, don't you think?
I think it's crispy.
Yeah.
I think it's crispy.
There's no other way to describe it.
It's a good tagline.
So
It's crispy.
It's crispy.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about, because you have this beautiful app you've built
Mhm.
to keep young students safe, build a community, foster their own potential entrepreneurship and profiling of their student businesses. And then right before the break, Kristen was talking about a way to expand it to the rest of the EDU community.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
It's actually great you mentioned that. We do actually have a couple faculty staff on the app that are using it, selling
Cool.
items, which is a customer, like a user segment that I didn't think would use the app.
Yeah.
We saw a couple signups, so it's kind of weird. It definitely, again, with entrepreneurship, you learn something new every single time with your users. So we do have that avenue. We are focusing on students just because we want to push it out to them a little
Yeah.
bit more. But faculty staff are more than happy to join. We do already have a couple on there.
Very cool.
Hey,
That's
speaking
awesome.
of the community here, I mentioned it earlier. Now I can't get out of my mind, Kristen, how that works, right?
Yeah.
I mentioned Trujillo's Taco Shop. There's always been there's a big battle on San Diego State. Is it Senor Pancho's or is it Trujillo's Taco Shop? Do you ever take on this?
That's a good question. I've tried Senor Pancho's. I haven't tried Trujillo's Taco Shop, so maybe I'm a little biased.
I am Team Trujillo.
Clearly. I went to State. I don't think I went to either of them.
Where'd you get your late night burritos?
I was in my master's program, so I just went to Blind Lady Ale House and just had beers and
Oh, you were
lots
fancy.
of pizza. I was fancy at that
You were
point.
part of the Foie Gras crowd.
Yeah. I had
Yeah.
more than
You weren't doing
$5. I had like
burritos.
$6. So I was
Nice.
like, oh, Blind Lady.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. So, okay. I'm sorry. We digress.
Woo!
We were here for UniExchange.
We're still here for UniExchange. We're still here for it.
Okay.
Wait, I have a question. So are you still at State or did you just graduate and what are you studying?
Yes. So last time I was on the podcast, I was graduating early in 3 years and I was a management major. But since seeing this pick up, I wanted to stay close to my user base. So I'm like, why would I graduate early?
Sure.
So I ended up just changing my major to finance just because I'm really into venture capital and investor relations and I will need that in the future. So just understanding numbers would be great. So I'm back on the 4-year track.
Cool.
And I'm currently at third year and I'll be graduating in spring of 2026 studying finance.
Okay. So good because we don't want you to lose your EDU email and get kicked off the
Right.
platform.
Exactly.
Totally.
Have you thought about how you're planning on staying on?
Yes. So this is going to be like a bigger scale, but every 6 months, we're going to be sending out verification notifications to all the EDU users to make sure they're still a student. And if they do still want to use the app, this is where we're going to kind of be retaining our customer base or user base. They can still use the app, but they'll be on like this public San Diego market, not really the college campus market because we want to keep that safe and secure for the students.
Yeah.
But they'll be moved to the public San Diego market. And if the college student wants to post their items publicly, they can.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll be moving them to a separate market, just a way to retain customers.
Okay.
Have you faced any like pushback from anybody about like liability? Like I remember Craigslist went through this like a while back where they're like, we're going to make everybody liable. You know, like Craigslist is liable for every transaction and all this stuff. And you're just like, oh my God, like go away.
There's definitely going to be there's a lot of stuff that I have to learn and there's a lot of stuff that I have to go through, especially this is my first time doing a marketplace.
Yeah.
So we're taking everything or every pushback or every comment or everything, because obviously there's a bunch of stuff that come with a marketplace.
Yeah.
Step by step, day by day. We haven't faced that issue yet of like what's happening
Good.
with transactions because we haven't had any like transactions happening with the app, like through the payment.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be for later on. But once we do, I'm sure something like that will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me kind of get into the weeds a little bit. Not so much the weeds, but the engineering. Okay. So obviously you built an app. Is it a web-based app or mobile app?
It's a mobile app. It's on iOS. I also have developers, so I'm not the only one developing. God bless my team. Shout out to them. And we built a mobile app. It's currently on iOS, and Android should be out, but Android's giving us a little bit of trouble. But we've been launched for 4 months now on iOS.
Yeah, because I know. So you built it for the Apple iOS platform.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I know sometimes when you're building mobile apps, the aesthetics are different on each app, and then you can do Linux that will maybe serve both, but it doesn't always look the same. So give us a feel for how did you, in fact, where'd you find your engineers? Mm-hmm. Where'd you find your coders? Where'd you find your app developers?
It took a while to find my developers. My entire team believes in the vision. They have a personal connection to it, and that's what I was trying to find. Obviously, their skill set as well, but it's more so them as people, their values, their morals, their personality. Just because team is the most important thing in a startup. If the team doesn't click, then the startup's gone. It doesn't matter how good your idea is.
Yeah.
So it took me a long time to find my developers. Joseph Gall is the best ever, and I had previous developers as well. And we actually are using React Native. So React Native, what you can do is you can code on there, and when you run it through Gradle or Xcode for Apple, Gradle through Android, it'll kind of write the code to be compatible for each platform. So we only write it once.
Cool.
I mean, there's definitely been some times where we had to kind of go in and change things depending on each platform. But shout out to React Native. It's been really helpful and really cool. And yeah, it's kind of the way we develop the app.
Yeah. Are you any AI tools you're using?
Of course. I love AI. We use Cursor. We use V0 for the website. Obviously, ChatGPT and Copilot. The great thing about this generation right now with AI is that you can build anything and everything and you can learn it online. So whenever we're facing like a problem, I'm sure all of you guys know this as well. I asked ChatGPT or I asked Cursor, I'm like, hey, like this is the error code. What can we do to solve it? What actually is happening? And it just speeds up the process so much faster because you understand, it tells you the answer. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it messes up. I've had to deal with a lot of problems. Like a couple of days ago, actually, where it just kept on messing up and I was like sitting there for hours. But AI has definitely been super helpful in kind of speeding up the process of learning everything. And
did you ask ChatGPT yet if Sandy Basaka is the greatest young CEO in San Diego?
far from that, yeah.
It said yes.
What was the answer?
It said yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's just fantastic. So it's nice then the greatest young CEO in San Diego was on Spotlight on the Community. Drew Schlosberg, Spotlight in the Community, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union here on Cloudcast Media. So it's good to know, Alfredo, that that's the answer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about Because I have, like I said, I'm an entrepreneur and I have my paradigm. It's called MMW, mind share, market share, wallet share. You've got to run that through that paradigm. If you're building your business, you've got to be laser focused on mind share, particularly for an app.
Mm-hmm.
So you've gone from 0 to 450 users.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what are you doing to grow mind share? Because San Diego State has 40,000 students, 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
So you're essentially, you got some metrics. You're at 450.
We're low.
How are you planning on getting it to 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 users ASAP?
Perfect. I'm super glad you asked that question. So we have this thing called a marketing playbook that we're trying to kind of compile and test a bunch of experiments. One thing that we realize is the fastest way to grow is through other people vouching for us. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to go through sororities. Sororities, mostly all women, they've probably faced something similar or gone through similar situations. So we're going through sororities, we're going through clubs, but sororities have been our biggest help. We're trying to continue to talk to them. I was on call with them literally yesterday trying to see what we can do to kind of foster this adoption, because all the sororities at San Diego State University and other universities as well have a group chat. It's think of it, GroupMe. I don't know if you guys have heard of GroupMe, but it's a huge group chat with a bunch of college students on there. And San Diego State University has a group chat full of sorority girls, around 3,000 students, where all they do is just post items they're trying to sell, and they can just text the people on there to buy. But it's super like unrestricted, and people can, there's been a bunch of scammers on there. So after kind of also seeing that group chat, I'm like, okay, this is actually need. So we're trying to get the adoption from the group chat of all the sororities onto the app. And I'm talking to the sororities right now to kind of figure it out. And they've been a great help. And yeah, I can't wait. So that's the way we're going to do it for San Diego State.
No, I think it's great. One of the challenges young entrepreneurs or older entrepreneurs, fourth quarter entrepreneurs like myself, are challenged with the vertical versus the horizontal expansion. So let's chat about that for a second, because I heard you mention a few other universities, including up in LA. Did I hear USC as an example? And it's always so easy to want to put another logo on the board, another university. So the question is, what do you think is the best use of your time with UniExchange? Is it crushing San Diego or opening up some new markets and universities?
I'm so happy you asked that, because that's been something that I've been trying to figure out what the best path would be. And something about entrepreneurship, you get a lot of opinions, you get a lot of advice, and the best advice I've been given is to filter everything. So I've actually been thinking about that a lot and trying to figure out what the next possible situation would be. So UniExchange, we're trying to dominate San Diego State University and San Diego community as a whole. But the reason we're trying to expand to USC or some other place that's similar to SDSU is to try to see if the same marketing playbook that we have, that we did at SDSU, would be able to be replicated at USC. And we're testing that out right now with UCSD, because it's a different college life environment, I guess, in SDSU. I'm sure you guys all know.
Brandon Joe, our associate producer, would second that.
Perfect. There you go. So we're trying to test out if the college life would differ how the app gets distributed amongst the students.
Yeah,
so we're focusing on SDSU to get a strong foothold, obviously, but we're trying to replicate what we did at SDSU at USC, and then try to see if we could do the same at UCSD, even though the college lives are different.
Yeah.
That being said, the UCSD and USC is starting right now in terms of planning, but it won't happen until kind of USC. We're going to try to do it by this month and next month to get like some sort of flow in there. But we're also trying that with UCSD, but nothing will truly be as big scale until next semester, because that's when everything picks up. But so that's a great question to ask, because that's what we're trying to figure out right now and do. But someone told me there's no reason for you to stop experimenting. And that's what I like to do. I like to experiment. I learn something new with every experiment I try. So we're still in the experimentation phase. We're trying to see if we do expand to UCSD and USC, what would happen. So that's what we're trying to do right now.
So we're getting ready to ramp up here. And one last question, because a lot of entrepreneurs will tell you that you start a business and you believe you know your business. But if you listen to your customers, they're going to tell you what business you're in. What are you hearing from your customers in terms of what they want from you?
That's an amazing question again. So that's a great take. I realize that the more that I listen to my customers and my user base, the more I learn about my own app, the more I learn about what they want. Because I have, I guess, my own experiences, but the users have their own as well. And something different that we actually just learned, because I liked our logo, I liked our color scheme, I liked our UI UX. They did not like it. They said it looks like a biotech company. There's no reason for us to have it. So through that, we're changing everything up. We're kind of making it more college appealing. And then in terms of the platform, we have a bunch of them come up to us saying like, okay, this is great, but this would be easier. Like if we just had this kind of, or like changing the user flow. It would be easier if we had this button or this over there. It's kind of like small little changes here and there. But they do emphasize that the best part of it is the safety feature. Like everyone's a verified student. And that kind of warms my heart because it's like, okay, great, it's working. Yeah. But with every user that I talk to, everything, like all these opinions come in and I'm just trying to write them down, take everything into account. And the more I hear something repeated, I'm like, okay, this makes sense. I need to change this, or this is what they want. And I'm trying to do the product market pull approach, where I build based on what the users want, not a product market fit approach where I push the application. That way it's kind of catered to the users and it just pulls more users in because it's built for them.
Wow. Well, now I know why ChatGPT said that Sandy Basaka was the greatest young CEO in San Diego. We've been, Kristen, any final thoughts before we sign off from another episode of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community?
I just think it's a great idea. If we can support you in any way, like let us know. It's a great idea.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys inviting me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, listen, our listeners, hope you enjoyed this particular episode of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community. My name is Charles Parisi, filling in for Drew. This show, part of Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing amazing things for San Diego in every way possible for over 60 years. And you've been listening to an episode with a brilliant young entrepreneur. ChatGPT said she was the greatest young entrepreneur in San Diego. Sandy Basaka, founder of UniExchange. Hope you enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.